And automatically, the physical, mental, and emotional bodies come into its own higher entrainment of the higher selves, that higher aspect of beingness that is ever behind the background, ever present. And it is in those times of inspiration, those glimpses into eternity. It is in the time of quietness, reflection, and meditation that we hear, understand, sense, and connect with this ever-arching presence of our Christed higher self. And so automatically, when one chooses, beloved, to come into this holy alignment, when they do it individually in their own unique path, to make known the unknown, to seek the revelations that is embedded deeply within their very DNA, understanding the DNA is not only a biological feature, but that very DNA possessed by the biology operates in higher frequencies. And the higher frequencies is that frequency connected to the higher parts of yourselves. And so when you are in anchored peace and you are in perfect balance, is when this vibration flow can be sensed and known more directly. So we say to you, beloveds, indeed, do take time where you do have time to reflect, be quiet, and to anchor that perfect balance and peace. For that is when, as you do so, this aspect of yourselves begins to integrate more directly within your own biology, within the DNA, beginning to harmonize and resonate with the higher octaves of which you are a part. And with this holy alignment, of course, is the sacred breath. The sacred in-breath and out-breath, the breath of Brahma, the breath of the divine, of which all creation is a part. And now we experience the great in-breath, the call to come back into the fullness and oneness of who we truly are on that journey of eternity, the journey of immortality. And as you walk this path, as you unveil its mysteries and its secrets, you begin to understand that you, beloveds, are immortal, that you are the one expressed in different ways, in boundless diversity and boundless experiences. And we say to you, beloveds, that there are those aspects of self that give a divine plan, a construct, if you will, or a blueprint. And it's in that aspect that there are many, many souls of the one Creator that have this sense of mission and purpose, a fulfillment, a divine understanding, a divine promise to fulfill this mission, this project, this destiny. And so it is in the quiet. in the anchored peace that you create within yourself, and the perfect balance that you create within yourself, as you choose to align with the higher parts of yourself, with that overarching presence that is forever there. As you tap into the frequency of this eternity and immortality of which you are. And as you do, beloveds, as all is vibration, you begin to vibrate into the higher entrainment of your higher self. The higher self connected to the myriad and myriad of light beings, the families of light, in the ascended realms of light, seeing things from a different perspective and experience. And this part of yourself seeks to bring the fullness and oneness of all of its parts, including in the physicality. There is a yearning not only on your side, but on the other side as well. A calling home, a deep ache within the psyche of the individual, which brings forth the re-remembering of something more, very much pronounced in the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten. But they rise into this holy alignment with a higher vision, higher purpose, higher mission, and the recollection of a divine plan. And this divine plan from the Ancient of Days begins to unfold ever so methodically, perhaps over perceivably eons of time, but unfolds it does into that blueprint, that destiny, that promise, that mission. And in this unfoldment, for those souls who have come to re-remember and to help others re-remember from the experience of the materiality, that comes to a conclusion, for indeed it is finite. And in this understanding that it is finite, there is no fear of it. For the higher understanding of what it is brings the freedom, the infinity, the eternal, the immortality of the true essence of who and what you are. And so it is in this return of the sacred cosmic in-breath that brings you on this path of light, that brings the higher understanding, the mission, the vision for its completion. And so it is the seeking of each soul, part of this destiny, that continues to seek, continues to make known the unknown, begins to see the light of day, even in those moments of darkness. For they remember beyond the darkness, beyond the challenge, beyond the pain and the suffering, beyond the fear. There is that within them that knows that there is the light, there is the love, there is the oneness, and there is the wholeness. And so, beloveds, as the gathering of the most radiant ones that have walked this path before you, come in loving support, understanding, and to communicate the vital roles in this complexity of the creation we find ourselves in. That as a vital component, a soul so brave, a soul so ancient, a soul that remembers the Ancient of Days blooming once again into the materiality of a three-density world, blooming within a material construct, blooming once again as the children of light choose to remember their origins, to remember their promises, in the understanding that they are part of a complexity of beings of great radiance as they shine radiantly as well. For their higher selves, the higher parts of their selves, is luminous and radiant, immortal and eternal. That aspects is ever present. And so it is in the layers of consciousness, in the awakening of this truth. And we say to you, beloveds, that in this cycle of time, and each cycle has its own experience, its own creational powers, for it is indeed the learning of free will, where these sparks of light within the materiality begin to choose the pathway of their unfoldment and the collective of which they are a part. We understand that the choice to come into a material world where you have resided in the highest of celestial realms was a great choice of unconditional love. And we remind each and every one of you, you hold that higher frequency of unconditional love, which is the source frequency of all creator and creation. And you feel and sense now in the higher heart of unconditional love, compassion, as it is expressed in so many ways, in service to others, in kindness, in love, in joy, in peace, in balance. It is integrated, interweaving from the higher celestial realms into your biology. And so as we come together as the family of light in the stillness, in the oneness, in the anchored peace and perfect balance, we remember this, we know this, we feel this, we are this together. That divine blueprint, the divine mission, the divine purpose, the divine vision and destiny. And as one chooses to align with these higher part frequency light codes of themselves, to infiltrate, process, and integrate into the very biology, into the very DNA, into the very codons, into the very acceleration of the electron spin. You begin to walk as a master upon the physical world. You see things through the higher mastery of who you are. As the frequencies of a three-dimensional material world begins to loosen up, and as it begins to loosen its grip upon you, you begin to unfold and see that divine vision and mission. You begin to unfold and remember the divine collective of service through the higher heart of compassion and unconditional love. You begin to remember who you are, the powers you hold, and the great Elohim creators that you are. And you begin to dream your heart's dreaming for a world of peace. You begin to dream your heart's dreaming for balance and equality, for love and wholeness. You begin to dream your heart's dreaming for diversity and the understanding of its oneness, and the beauty and the experiences of living creation in all of its unfoldment, in all of its expression, in all of its diversity. You begin to dream your heart's dreaming of a golden age. You begin to dream your heart's dreaming with the understanding that your heart's dreaming, your dreaming, your love, your emotions, your intentions, your vision ripples throughout the cosmos, creating new frequencies of creation, for you are remembering you are the creators. Extensions of the Creator, the unknowable, the one, the monad, known as many names. That this fragment of who you are, of that, begins to shine and radiate and become stronger on its way back home. Healing, clearing, and providing grace along its path in the many worlds it passes through. And in this moment, upon this sacred earth, her commitment to you and your commitment to her, she aligns with you in the beauty and the graciousness that she is on her travels into the ascension process, that you play that critical part. For it is her children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten to rise in their frequency, to rise and awaken others, so she too rises. The opportunity for completion of ascension. And in this world of choice, in the world where decisions are powerful in either way that choice might be, there is the children of light awakening that they have choice that ripples throughout the cosmos. And they are to remember that they are powerful creators and who they are and what they are capable of, transcending, transmuting, and moving beyond the physicality of a three-dimensional world into the higher aspects of themselves, integrating, processing, interweaving the multiplicity of themselves in higher dimensional realms into the physicality of this three-dimensional world. Their aspect is located. And in this now eternal moment, beloveds, as we move in around you, holding sacred space for you, to anchor deeply your cosmic divine memories in your path home, that the radiance that you hold continues to expand as your very presence upon the world begins to dismantle false constructs, that the true authenticity of the divine in its most benevolent expression pierces through constructs of delusion and illusion, moves in through constructs imperfect and finite. It is the great rising sun of the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten, that ripples throughout the cosmos, impacting new worlds, impacting those worlds that evolve and revolve around the great central sun. And even those worlds beyond that. For the children of light upon the earth are the great alchemists, powerful souls that have come into densest of densities, and yet hold that spark to find their way back home and to bring others and the sacred earth. Here in this moment, beloveds, in this sacred now moment, as your field expands and aligns, resonates, and integrates with the highest aspects of yourself, aligned with the great pleroma, Christ consciousness, divine Maitreya, the one, the source, the monad, the unknowable, that light, moving in and through, establishing your perfect balance and anchored peace. Hold your positions. Hold your positions. And now, the thought of the return comes, and as such, the great radiant ones that have held this sacred space begin to draw in their electromagnetic field as we know to draw in ours. Carefully but methodically, we begin to step down our energies with the intention to be fully back into our physical, mental, and emotional bodies, grounded onto the sacred earth. On the count of 3, we will intend to be back, awake, alert, and grounded. 1, 2, take a deep breath in, and 3, we are back, awake, alert, and we are grounded.